Hey Fred, I've been having a lot of pain on the side of my hip right here over that bone and a little bit kind of in the lower back, kind of upper hip area. I was wondering if you have anything that might help me. Okay, so you're saying some offset standing on one leg can help? I'm all ears. Show me what's up. Trochanteric bursitis is when the IT band or tensa fascia lata that connects from the upper hip bone over the greater trochanter on the hip, the big bony prominence on the side of your thigh, runs down to the side of your knee. It helps to lift the leg and stabilize the hips when we're walking, running, and standing so we don't sway too much. Also contributing is the quadratus lumborum. It's a muscle that's kind of hidden behind our back muscles. It connects from the top of the hip to the inside of our ribs and also helps to control our torso or our trunk's side-to-side stability. Since they're connected and we don't pay attention to them very much, they can get stuck together and contribute to pain and loss of range of motion in the hips and in our sides. So Fred here has been demonstrating how if we stand on a block, we can let the leg hang a little bit, get some traction, and that can help with the pain and mobility. So let's take a look at what we might do. Standing on something like a yoga block or a stair step or anything just a few inches off the ground, grabbing onto something for support, see if you can keep your hip and belt level parallel with the ground while letting that leg dangle. And just stay here for maybe a minute and see how that feels. You might notice that the support leg is getting a little bit tired. Well, this is really good because we want to make sure that this muscle stays strong and we're not drooping this way. So activating this muscle keeps our belt level. What we can also notice then is we get a little bit of a stretch. And so when we start, we're going to keep our belt level and we're just going to get some passive pendulums on this leg. We can see what it looks like from the side. My belt's level, and I'm just kind of passively penduluming this leg. You want to find out where your body's easy range of motion is and just explore those corners. We don't want to push it too hard at first. So maybe spend a minute or two doing this, letting that foot just kind of graze down and hang a little bit lower than the other. That'll let these muscles relax and lengthen the hip and get rid of some of that gluiness or stickiness. So if you've been doing that for a while, or it feels pretty easy, and by a while I mean a few days to a couple weeks every day for 10 minutes or so, we also want to help open up the quadratus lumborum and create some distance from the greater trochanter to our ribs. So normally I say keep everything level, but just for practice today, if we lean towards our support leg and push our other hip away, we can start to feel a good stretch kind of in between our ribs and our hip bone. And then as this leg dangles, a little bit of a stretch between our hip bone and our trochanter. And we're going to do those same things. We're just going to pendulum while trying to open up this space as much as possible while still feeling easy. I don't want anybody to tense up right here. This shouldn't be painful. As if this is feeling good, you've been doing this every day for 5 minutes for a couple weeks. You notice what happens as you reach up and lean over even more. We'll get a little bit more of a stretch. We've been doing our pendulums 5 minutes every day for a couple of weeks, and our hips are feeling a little bit better. We're feeling a little bit more stable. Now we actually want to get stronger to prevent this from coming back again. So what we can do is, starting with level belt line, so nice and strong on that foot, my toes are grabbing the block or the step on my support leg. And what happens if I just pick that leg up off to the side? Nice and easy. It only has to be a couple inches. You should notice a gentle, comfortable, kind of burning or tingling sensation. Again, if it hurts, slow down, but try to keep that hip nice and active. If that's feeling easy, again, we lean towards the support leg, lean away from the hanging leg, open up the space between the ribs and the top of the hip, and do the same thing. Can we get a little gentle squeeze of the feet together at the bottom? Squeeze and open. Squeeze and open. Can we hover there at the end for a breath or two? Squeeze. Open. It might also be useful sometimes to play with this a little bit if you're bent over. Notice I'm pivoting at the hips. I'm not rounding my back. I'm pivoting at the hips, keeping the line between my tailbone and the top of my head nice and straight. It's almost like I'm sticking my butt back more than I'm leaning forward. Doesn't have to be very much, just a few degrees. And then we can start doing these pendulums again. See if that changes the sensation. Notice what happens if you let your knee bend. Can you kick it a little higher? Get a little bit more stretch in the back of the hip. While we're bent over, can you also do those side raises? Nice and active feet. I'm almost sneaking a piece of paper under my back support heel. I'm not flat-footed. I really want engaged toes and an engaged foot on my support leg. How does it feel? If we move into a little bit of hip extension and do the same thing. So I'm going to squeeze my glutes a lot and pull my hips just a little bit in front of my shoulders and do this. You'd really want to make sure you've got something solid to grab onto so you don't lean back. Nice and tall, little bit of arch in the back. Doing those pendulums, doing those knee raises, and doing those side to sides. Once you've mastered being able to stand on one leg and keep your belt line level, then we want to practice being able to recover if our hip dips. So then we can practice without bending the support knee. Can we touch our foot to the ground and stand up straight, getting a little bit of extra stretch out of it? For one-legged balance practice, just bending the knee here is good to keep up your balance and leg strength. But for this exercise, what happens if you keep the knee straight and gently touch that foot down or almost touch that foot down and really work those muscles on the side of your hip? When that's feeling easy and you feel strong there, then as you dip and come up, can you lift that hip off to the side? So dip down. See how the belt line is angling below level, level, and above level. This will be really good for maintaining balance and keeping those hips strong and pain-free. Hopefully that helps with your trochanteric bursitis. I've also noticed that this helps with general back and side pain as well. Thanks, Fred.